This module is part of the Beyond Cold Cloud series that addresses cold cloud user-level functions. This learning module shows you how to generate a combined graph report using the Beyond Cold Cloud interface. Within Cold Cloud, combined graph reports give a graphical view of all values logged by Cold Cloud for the specified sensors, assets, and sites during the defined reporting period. Before you proceed, it's important that you watch and understand the learning module on how to specify a report's parameters. As usual, we've started at the Cold Cloud dashboard view. To start viewing and generating reports, navigate to the Reports section. In the previous module, we learned how to define a report subject and reporting period. With that knowledge as our foundation, we'll proceed to generating a combined graph report. For demonstration, note that we've selected the Botswana tree and we've chosen the preceding month as our reporting period. Now we click the Combined Graph button. A combined graph report consists of a graphical view of both analog and digital data. In other words, the report consists of values taken along a granular scale of value and represented as shifting points on a value versus time graph, and also true or false values, which practically could be represented as on or off, open or closed, and so on. This view is typical of what you might see in a combined graph report. Note that the report statistics consist of readings taken by temperature and humidity sensors, and also that many readings are presented on the same graph. This many readings presented on the same graph at the same time may make the view difficult to read. So, to clarify this particular graph, I'm going to limit the view to readings from 2 temperature sensors and 2 humidity sensors. The view we see here presents temperature and humidity values on the same graph. Here, relative humidity readings are between approximately 37 and 71%, and temperature readings are between approximately 22 and 28 degrees Celsius. The graph's vertical axis contains a scale of value ranging from 0 to 80. This makes it possible to show ambient temperature and relative humidity readings on the same graph. We also see that a number of alarm events have been logged. With the upper limit for ambient temperature being 25 degrees Celsius, we can see that there were quite a few temperature excursions, all of them marked by alarm events. If you hover the mouse cursor over an alarm event, the view will show a system-generated alarm number and the condition that was exceeded in order for the alarm to be generated. If you click an alarm event, a new browser tab will be opened, and the system will show you a detailed report for that specific alarm. Depending on different factors, you may want to include only data that is part of a certain data range. To screen out portions of the view that are not needed, click and drag either or both of the white sliders in such a way that only the needed date range is included. With a specific portion of the view isolated, you can also quickly scroll the view left and right by clicking and dragging the isolated portion of the graph's scroll bar. To toggle the scroll bar on and off, click the hand icon. Alternatively, you can make any area of the graph view easier to read by zooming into the view. Do this by clicking and dragging around the area you want to see. The view will zoom into that area. To reset the zoom, click the Reset Zoom icon. The view contains a visual settings menu that can make the graphs easier to read by changing their visual aspects. The different subsections of the colors area lets you change the relative colors of the visual elements to provide more visual contrast between them. Checking the Marker checkbox adds marker points to each plotline. This makes it easier to find points at which the relevant value increased or decreased. Checking the Smooth Line checkbox artificially smooths out any abrupt transitions in value along the relevant plotline. This can make the relevant plotline easier to read. Checking the Alarms checkbox adds alarm events to the graph. The Plot Thickness drop-down lets you adjust the thickness of the graph plotlines. Checking any of the checkboxes in the Axis Settings section adds the relevant measurement scale to the graph. To show or hide any of the value plotlines and value thresholds, check or uncheck the checkbox for the relevant sensor or threshold in the Active column. To change the color of any value plotline or value threshold, click the colored icon for the relevant sensor or threshold in the Color column. To print the view as a paper report, click the Printer button and use the Print dialog to print the report. We've reached the end of this Cold Cloud user-level functions module. Now that you know more about this subject, please feel free to view all other modules addressing Cold Cloud's user-level functions and capabilities. Thank you for your time.